Welcome back to another episode of Big Shticks, guys. Today we're going to be cooking short ribs, otherwise known as Dino Bones. They're of the prime variety from Costco. We'll be using exclusively Kosmo's Q's rubs. Number 1, cow cover, number 2, Dirty Bird, and number 3, Texas beef. And we're going to put it on in layers in that order. Okay, first things first. From the small side, you got this silver skin here. We're going to want to take that off. That is no bueno, and it doesn't eat good. In fact, it's kind of rubbery. So we're just gonna trim that out best we can without removing too much of the meat. And the reason I want to remove this is, 1, it doesn't eat good, but 2, you're not gonna be able to get your rub to stick. Big end. Do is cut away some of the excess fat here. Just trim it up to your liking. And this stuff here in particular doesn't really render that well. The hard fat, yes. That slippery, stretchy fat, no. Look, and when you're trimming, I know the overarching thought is loss, right? Like, how much are you gonna lose? It's entirely up to you. You can be as detailed as you want to be with the trim, or you can be as aggressive if you want. All right, first rub going down. Cow cover. I'm gonna put this on pretty generously. It's gonna be Dirty Bird. So let's get that on there nice and thick. Texas beef goes on white, interestingly. I think it's pretty cool. Each time that I've used this on steak, beef ribs, or beef in general, it comes out fantastic. All right, now that I've taken liberty of the last 30 minutes to clean up here, just going to stick the ribs inside the smoker cold. In that 30 minutes, the ribs have had an opportunity to get tacky or otherwise form a pellicle. I'm gonna put the big ones here towards the front of the smoker. And I'm gonna put the little ones here in the back. Today, I'm gonna use the Royal Oak charcoal pellets. These black pellets are rather unique, but they also impart a very, very unique flavor. One that I've grown a real affinity for here. I don't like to put too many pellets in there because I might want to use a different blend at a later date and time when I cook something different. But for now, we're just gonna shoot about 6 pounds in there and see how long that lasts. Let's fire it up. So I'm gonna set the cooker to 235, just because I don't want this thing running so cold that it takes forever and a day for it to cook. So some people may ask why it is that I stick my ribs or meats in the pellet grill cold. Well, really, it's because pellet grills don't provide an awful lot of smoke flavor that you would otherwise get on stick burners or cooking over a live fire. So I like to stick the ribs in there wet. Smoke really sticks to moisture. So while it's got a pellicle going, I like that initial startup and that big plume of heavy smoke to really permeate that meat initially. So do you see what I'm saying? Big time heavy smoke during the startup. And this is what I want. Hey folks, we are now 1 hour in. We're just gonna spray it up. Water. You could use water, vinegar, apple cider vinegar. You can use beef broth. I just want to wet these things. Make that smoke stick. Okay, 4 hours up. Here's how we're looking. Got a good pull back here. Starting to look a little dry around the edges. That's to be expected. I think at this point I am probably going to wrap them up in some heavy foil. 4.5 hours in, I'm gonna pull these off and get them wrapped. Thing is, I wish I had more time, but I don't. Gotta go pick up the kids. And that ultimately means that they're gonna come home hungry. This I do know for sure. So, just gonna wet these up a little bit. I'll slap a little bit more seasoning on here. And this is just a combination or mixture of all three. Now I understand I'm gonna lose bark doing this, but hey, it is what it is, folks. A little bit of beef broth here, sort of a braising liquid, if you will. Kind of create our boat. A little bit more. Right. Bigger piece to wrap this. We're just going to continue to cook this bone side down. Small rack coming out. Wet these up a little bit. Once again, drop on some more seasoning. Help really build up that flavor profile. Trying to be careful not to punch any holes in this. Even though it is heavy duty foil, you can punch holes in it. Alright, let's get these back on. Alright, so let's recap what we've done so far. We've trimmed it, we've seasoned it, we've smoked it for approximately 4.5 hours at 235 degrees, unwrapped, spraying it each and every hour on the hour. We've then taken it off, we've wrapped them up in foil, re-seasoned them, added a little braising liquid, which was beef broth, and then we've shoved them back into the smoker. Probably gonna let it roll about an hour, hour and a half. I'm gonna go pick up my kids in that time, and by the time we get back, I should be able to probe into that beef and it be ready. All right, so here we are, folks. I just pulled it off at the 1.5 hour mark. We are gonna let this rest for 1 hour before we slice into it. Well, apparently I don't get an hour to rest it, so we're gonna cut into it. We're about 47 minutes in. And oh my God, are they still piping hot? I will change your view here in just a moment. Here it is. You always get that one bone that decides it's gonna go the other way. Let's cut in. Everyone's favorite money shot. So, good smoke ring, nice and juicy still, real pliable. Let's take a bite. Thought I was recording and I wasn't, so I already took a couple of bites from this, but it's pretty freaking good. Easy bite through. And if you're wondering, does it pull off the bone clean? Yes, it does. Oh man. Ooh, you can't eat these but once in a while. They're so decadent. All right, you want to try it?
Yeah. This is the juiciest.
That's the juiciest. Yeah, it's good.
Perfect as always.
Oh gosh, look how juicy it is. Oh, this I'll eat. I just want to. We're Filipino. The meat on this reminds me of like nilaga. Can you make any lago ribs?
Yeah.
So good. These are the only ribs I will eat. But they take a lot of time, right, babe?
Yeah, it took
All day.
7 hours
Oh my
in
God.
total.
This is really good.
Wait, what's it?
Totally doable. Don't be afraid to try. Big Shticks out. What is your deal?
Ribs make me happy.
I'm so happy.
Mr. Red Wine